When I came to Highlands several years ago, I was immediately struck by the spirit of community and family which characterized the school. There was an atmosphere of cooperation and support for and from teachers, parents, and most importantly, students. It soon became apparent to me that this spirit and atmosphere was the result of a tradition which had been cultivated at Dundee Highlands over many years and by many individuals, and nurtured by administrators and staff members during the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
I came to the school district in 1964, and that's the year Dundee Highlands opened. My first job was as a counselor at Dundee High School, which is now closed as a high school. And I also had an office in Crown High School, which now is combined with Dundee Crown to make one high school.
The principals and teachers allow us to be very involved in our children's classrooms. We have the TAP program, Teacher Assistance Program. We have room mothers, cultural arts programs, computer moms, lots of ways for parents to be involved in their children's education.
Because we all have one really important thing in common, and I think that's a real special feeling for Highlands.
As we enter the next decade and prepare to meet the new challenges of the 21st century, we promise to strive to nurture and strengthen this tradition which has served our community so well for 25 years. Dundee Highlands School proudly remembers its past as it looks toward educating the next generation. My name is Steve Renee. I have the honor and privilege of serving as Dundee Highlands' current principal.
Happy anniversary, Dundee Highlands, 25 years. Construction of Dundee Highlands Elementary School began in April of 1964 on a site in West Dundee, donated by Samuel B. and Gerald Eisberg to meet the educational needs of the growing communities of East and West Dundee and Sleepy Hollow. The school opened in September of 1964, serving students in kindergarten through 6th grade. Mr. Ron Rhodes served as the school's first principal.
Anyway, we did open up the building on the first day of school, and I think it was 64, but we only had half of the building. I can't remember whether it was the north half or the south half. We didn't have either one of the kindergarten rooms. We didn't have the gym. The kitchen wasn't there. It wasn't finished. We didn't have any tile on the floor. There wasn't any tile on walls. There was no heat. And I don't think there was any electricity either. Since we didn't have a gym, we didn't have a kitchen, the teachers that were on noon duty were given about 5 garbage cans and told to walk the children up to Tower Park. And we did get to know the construction people quite well, and when they left, I think it was in November or so, we bought a big cake and we had a big going away party.
At the time of the dedication of Dundee Highlands Elementary School, it was noted that, quote, "The Board of Education respectfully dedicates this building to the advancement of youth, the preservation of the democratic way of life, and the betterment of mankind," unquote. The students, faculty, and staff invite you to take a trip through time by viewing our retrospective of the years 1964 through 1989, as was witnessed at our 25th anniversary celebration on Sunday, September 10th, 1989.
Vietnam. The year's top story was that United States combat troops landed in South Vietnam. Civil rights. Thousands of people marched in cities to seek civil rights for black people. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was the leader of the civil rights movement. President Lyndon B. Johnson was inaugurated in January. Deaths. Perhaps the most deeply mourned of the world figures died in 1965 were Ambassador to the United Nations and Sir Winston Churchill of Great Britain. Spacewalk. A walk in space by Edward H. Waite II made headlines. Beatlemania. The British Beatles maintained their popularity as the top vocal group.
That's right.
In 1966, Walt Disney died. He was the creator of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Adam West was the first Batman in the bi-weekly series. More and more Americans were involved in the Vietnam War. A lot of people were in peace movements.
The U.S. spacecraft Surveyor 1 made a soft landing on the moon and began relaying photographs back to Earth.
In 1967, there was a big wedding. It was held in the White House. The president's daughter, Linda Bird Johnson, married Marine Captain Charles Robb. In 1967, there was the first heart transplant. Dr. Bernard and 20 specialists did the operation. Mickey Mantle hit his 500th home run. 1967 was an exciting year for the New York Yankees. In 1968, Martin Luther King was shot and killed. Congress passed a law saying people should respect the American flag. Mickey Mouse celebrates his 40th birthday. 3 American astronauts circled the moon 10 times. In 1969, Sesame Street was on television. In 1969, the astronauts walked on the moon.
Earth Day and health food stores became important to Americans. The Beatles broke up. 1971, Disney World opened in Florida. 18-year-olds became able to vote in elections.
In 1972, President Nixon went to China to visit. Apollo 7 astronauts went up on the moon. 1974, the Miami Dolphins won their second Super Bowl in a row, and Gary Player won his second golf tournament. And here at home, Dundee Highlands had a talent show. 1975, the war ended in Vietnam. Mod rings were a popular fad. The movie Jaws kept people out of the water during the summer months. A new galaxy was discovered. 1976 was a year for celebrating in America. America is 200 years old. On July 4th, there were celebrations throughout the land. The Statue of Liberty was 100 years old. Happy birthday, America, 200 years old. Jimmy Carter was sworn in as the new President of the United States.
Star Wars, a dominant movie, screened across the country and inspired of thousands of replicate souvenirs items such as model spaceships, dolls, and costumes. In 1979, Jane Byrne became Chicago's first woman mayor. 20 inches of snow was dumped on the Midwest overnight. And Barbie turned 20 years old.
On a warm September night in 1989, teachers and administrators, both current and former, and friends, got together to remember and reminisce about Dundee Highlands.
It was a great school. Being still in the district, it's probably the best school I taught at. It's kind of hard to say that, but it was. If I had my druthers, I'd still be there. Great faculty, great staff. Kids were great at the time. I understand they're even better now. And yeah, the camaraderie that was there was fantastic. Yeah.
Well, the community of Dundee Highlands has been very supportive of the school. We have a very active PTC that has helped us purchase many of the needed materials and supplies that we have at the Highlands.
And I think you'll find that you won't find that the people at Dundee Highlands are just terrific. And we have a cross-section of people of all economic levels, and they're really interested in education and their kids.
We had a lot of fun during the 16 or 17 years that I was at Highlands. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the terrific programs that the staff put on. I can remember, well, I can just remember two, but I know there were dozens of them. I can remember Charlie Brown, and I can remember a centennial show, the bicentennial program that weekend.
First of all, as you, I think, have already interviewed Mr. Rhodes, he was our very first principal, and he started the building with us and got everything rolling along and was there for, I think, 16 or 17 years, I'm not sure. After Mr. Rhodes left, there was a lady who came named Nancy Lamaya. She was principal for, I think, 2 years. I'm not sure, I think 2 years. Then Cheryl Kopecki was our principal for a couple of years. And now our present principal is Steve Renee. And so in 25 years, we've had 4 different administrators, 2 men and 2 women. So
an even split.
An even split.
The band program is always outstanding at Highlands, as it is throughout District 300. District 300 is probably one of the finest music programs, at least in the state of Illinois, if not in the entire country. We have a number of students starting each year in the 5th grade level. This year particularly, we have a large group, 34 students.
Hi, I'm sitting here with the lovely Shar.
Hansel.
Shar Hansel, the lovely Shar Hansel.
Yes. I was there from 70 to 75. And I was, let's see, I was a beginning teacher, 70 to 75. I think I was about 22 when I left, and I'm about, my gifts were always lovely.
Yes. How about your lovely gifts?
My lovely gifts.
Tell us about your lovely gifts.
My lovely gifts I gave those who were fortunate enough an 8x10 photo of me.
An 8x10?
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes, isn't it?
And one day as we were having lunch, and it was, you know, how you feel when it's time to go back to your classroom, you kind of go, oh, well, it's time to go back to the classroom. Well, we went to open the door, and it wouldn't open.
And you were in there with?
I was in there with several other people that had lunch at the same time I do. I can't remember now who it was.
Sure, and we'll let them remain nameless for the time being.
And the custodian came and tried to get the door open. And
anyway, the program is outstanding, as it has been for years, and I hope it is for years to come, because band in Dundee is forever.
The custodian came and tried to get the door open, and the door wouldn't open, and the principal tried to get the door open, and they came around and peeked in the window at us and waved at us, and we kept thinking, oh boy, the bell's gonna ring, and here we are stuck in the teacher's lounge. But they got the door open.
Oh, they finally rescued you?
They rescued us.
Wayne was a custodian at Carpentersville Grade School, and he we had a mutual friend, and when the board closed Carpentersville Grade School down, we persuaded Wayne to come over to Highlands. But anyway, he had been there just a short time, and he asked me if he couldn't have a desk for his office. So I said, sure, I think I can get you one. So I called up Bill Casey, who was business manager, and Bill said, there's no way that we can get you a desk, because Carpentersville Grade School is padlocked, boarded up, and booby-trapped, and even the superintendent can't get anything out of that building. So the next day, I went down the hall to Wayne's office to tell him the bad news. And when I got there, he was sitting behind his new Carpentersville desk. When they closed the building, he kept his key.
Hello, I'm very happy to be here. My name is Joseph Skeim. I'm superintendent of Community Unit School District 300. There are currently 17 buildings in the school district. Dundee Highlands happens to be one of 11 elementary schools. They're with grades K through 5. We have 3 middle schools with grades 6, 7, and 8. in 2 high schools, with grades 9 through 12. Then we have 1 high school, Hampshire High School, which has grades 6 through 12. So it's a combination middle school, high school. School district, as noted by the map behind me, is 118 square miles. That's 20 miles from one end of the school district to the other, so it's quite a comprehensive school district. Dundee Highlands, which is now one of the 4th oldest buildings in the elementary schools in the district, has an appearance which is quite nice. In fact, at the 25th anniversary open house, I heard that comment made quite often, that the building really looks in good shape. We've had some interesting things happen this year. The Sears merchandising group has now decided to come to District 300 to open up their facilities. So after looking all over the country, they will be locating within the confines of District 300. Also, the Panasonic group will be locating their headquarters in this district. So at this time, we will become the headquarters for 2 large manufacturing and merchandising groups, and we're very proud and happy to be a part of that exciting activity.
My name is Christy Warnke. I am a parent and the president of the PTC at Dundee Highlands Elementary. Take Art to Heart is a program where mothers are given some background information on a particular print and a particular artist, and then they come into the classroom and present that artist and print and do a hands-on activity with the children, either of their own choosing or as suggested by the chairman of the program. The kids love it. They're very well behaved when the parents come in, very easy to work with. They're very excited about the program. Last year through the PTC, we were able to get 6 new computers for Dundee Highlands along with the computer stands. We purchased quite a few books for our media center, various other items for the classrooms through our curricular enrichment fund, and a laminator for the school. The TAP program at Dundee Highlands, as throughout the district, is a program where parents can come in and be of assistance to teachers. They can work in the classroom with students who need help with reading or math or whatever. They can do paperwork, paper grading, running dittos, cutting construction paper, anything that a teacher needs help with in a classroom. I feel that our school supports our parents' organization supports our school, and that all adds up to a fine education for our children.
1980 was a busy year. Many exciting things happened. Mount St. Helens erupted. The Empire Strikes Back was released at the movie theaters, and Spring Hill Mall opened. Many of us in 4th grade were also born in 1980.
(1981). Several events took place in 1981. The United States launched the first space shuttle, Columbia, and Ronald Reagan became the 40th president of the United States. This year also marked the release of 52 American citizens who had been held hostage by Iran for 444 days. Another event of 1981 was the marriage of Prince Charles and Lady Diana in Great Britain.
In 1982, a war took place in the Falkland Islands.
Maureen Clark received the first permanent artificial heart.
Prince William was born at Buckingham Palace, England.
Later in 1982, Halley's Comet was sighted by telescope for the first time since 1911. In 1983, Harold Washington was voted into Chicago's mayor's office. He became Chicago's first black mayor. The first woman U.S. astronaut Sally Ride built the Space Shuttle Challenger. America fell in love with the latest fad, the Rubik's Cube. 1984, Ronald Reagan and George Bush defeated Walter Mondale and Geraldine Ferrara in the presidential election. The Olympics were held in Sarajevo and Los Angeles, with such gold medal winners as Mary Lou Retton, Scott Hamilton, Katarina Witt, and Carl Lewis. A toxic waste accident in Bhopal, India,
killed 2,500 people, and a tornado destroyed the town of Barneveld, Wisconsin. Donald Duck celebrated his 50th birthday.
1985, Ronald Reagan was sworn in for his second term as President of the United States. During 1985, 3 different United States space shuttles completed a total of 8 successful missions.
On September 19th and 20th, major earthquakes occurred in Mexico, especially in and around Mexico City.
The Chicago Bears football team had one of its best seasons. They won 15 games during the year and only lost once.
The biggest movie hit of the year 1985 was the comedy Back to the Future.
1986. Halley's Comet is sighted by humans. The Statue of Liberty celebrated her 200th birthday. The automobile, first built by Henry Ford, became 100 years old. It was children's author Carl Grimm's 200th anniversary of his birth. The Space Shuttle Challenger exploded on takeoff. Many astronauts, including schoolteacher Christine McCullough, lost her life.
(1987) A stock market crash stunned the world October 19th, 1987. Stephen Newman walked around the world by himself. It was the 50th anniversary of Spam and Snow White and the Golden Gate Bridge. President Reagan met with Soviet Prime Minister Mikhail Gorbachev.
1988, compact discs were replacing the record albums. George Bush defeated Michael Dukakis in a presidential election. Dundee Highlands held its own mock election and also had a Christmas sing with the Lakewood School in the streets of Dundee. And Dundee Highlands prepares to celebrate its 25th anniversary.
Several years later, when the Board of Education decided to close down Dundee Grade School and transfer the children there over to Highlands, we wanted to bring something over that would tie the two groups together. So we asked the board if we could have the old bell that was up in the top of the building, and we thought they would just say, sure, you can have it. But the vote was 4-3. We did get it. It was close. And then we used to ring the bell at the beginning of each school year and at the end of each school year and during special occasions. And I understand you still ring it at times.
Education rings at Highlands. My name is Tim Wadolsey. Well, I was thinking of things that are special at Highlands, and then I thought of the bell that's in front of the school, and then I thought of the word education, and I put them together, and it makes Education Rings at Highlands.
The PTC at Dundee Highlands has been an active part of the school for the past 25 years, and as current president of PTC, I'd like to wish Dundee Highlands a happy 25th anniversary.
You know, this is a real special place. It's a unique place. And I think she said it all right there. It is a very special place. There's a magic there that I just can't put my finger on, but it's there. And I think it's radiated by the people who work there and have worked there over the years.
I understand Highlands is growing again, and I hear a lot of good things from parents about Highlands, and I hope it lasts another 25 years.
Well, I'm very happy to be a part of the 25th anniversary for Dundee Highlands, especially since it's also my 25th year of being in the school district.
It's real hard to put down. It's like I said, it's first school, and it was just fantastic.
As we enter the next decade and prepare to meet the new challenges of the 21st century, we promise to strive to nurture and strengthen this tradition, which has served our community so well for 25 years. Dundee Highlands School proudly remembers its past as it looks toward educating the next generation.